Okay, so we'll start now the second half of our show with a poetic opener. That's a relatively new thing here, but I think it's going really, really well. Our poetic opener tonight is Julie Paul. She is very popular among this crowd. She is the author of one poetry collection called The Rules of the Kingdom, a great title, and 3 books of short fiction. She is currently working on more poetry, as many people are, of course, and a book of personal essays. I am excited to hear what she's going to tell us. Julie Paul.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here and see everyone. Real life. That's great. Real life. Real drama. So I've had the good fortune of being in a poetry class with Yvonne Blomer recently. We looked at Elizabeth Bishop and we looked at Emily Dickinson. And I gravitated a little bit towards Bishop over Dickinson, strangely. But I thought I would start by reading a couple of poems inspired by that, and both of these poems have the first line taken from Bishop. So the first one is called Before the Divorce, and the first line is from Bishop's poem, The Map. Before the divorce, Empress Hotel, Victoria, BC. Here is a coast, here is a harbor, and here is the ivy-costumed hotel built on a filled-in swamp. What could possibly go wrong? Here is where my parents celebrate their 25th anniversary in one small haunted room that faces the sunset. One last act for the children who saved to pay for it. From their window, they offer brave faces and advice to us standing on the lawn below. The golden boy and his 3 big sisters, me in charge for the night. We wave up at them, send reassurances of our survival before gallivanting to the causeway. And while we leave them up there, trapped like a portrait in the window frame, the 4 reasons they've stayed together walk among the fancy boats with waffle cones, counting seals in the oily harbor. Not sure if my parents were watching, but it inspired me. The next poem is a poem that I wrote to the sense of worry. I'm trying to, it's a poem about letting go of worry as if worry is a person. And it's called Household Haunting. And the first line is from Bishop's poem, House Guest. The sad seamstress who stays with us this month will soon be leaving. Do ghosts pack their own suitcases? If asked at the checkpoint, could she honestly say she packed it herself and then be allowed to pass through to the other side? What if she lies and there's a bomb inside? What if she's brought along a child from here, catatonic with grief over leaving? What if it's filled with candy-coated gumdrops that taste like raspberries? What if it holds broken glass, reflecting our blue-gray sky? Did she even sew a stitch while in our generous home? I wanted to give her everything broken, torn, my holy cashmere, my rotten tooth, my empty heart, my tangled chains, this brain, all of it, but she never seemed receptive to my woes, possibly distracted by where she'd landed, unable to help after all. Perhaps I will pack my own case too, squeeze every bone and sorrow inside and take us to the border. Make them let us through. Traveling together, yes, nothing to declare. Saying goodbye to words is not always successful. It sticks around. Yeah. So I'll finish with reading part of the long poem that I've been working on for a while and pre-pandemic. And this poem is especially for all the creators out there, maybe a few of us here. So it's about both distractions and the inner critic. And I refer to those distractions in myself as a troll. Greener grass mashup. Below my personal suspension bridge of disbelief lives a troll who mistakes my footprints for those of scared ruminants. Despite their mechanical precision, talk, 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 talk. And now he's hungry, thinking goats. But it's just me and my high heels talking, since I no longer rely on blocks or the phone book to bring me up to table height. My troll stopped maturing when it was most convenient for him, eternally stuck in a puddle jumping phase. It's not a phase, he screams, mud spraying the curtains. At least he's potty trained, small mercies, nothing worse than a diapered troll beneath the bridge. What's the word on the street these days about bypassing trolls? Is this light good for a selfie? Although this fixation with the perfect ratio of followers to following on Instagram begs for meta-analysis, it seems I am still going to document every step and share, because sharing is caring. No one knows the perfect recipe for living this thing out. Is it aging in place? Sounds statuesque, and statues can't cross bridges. Anyway, I'm going across that bridge, ignoring what lies beneath. Unless there are dishes to do. Troll likes to sing Christmas carols, jingles. He bites his thumb, bites me. Still, I love him, but there's no denying I can get a lot more done when he naps. Without Troll, it's just a bridge over untroubled waters, just a span, a tension over a troll-shaped space. Snapchat that, why don't ya? Serenity now. He keeps me jumping, and I am not a jumper, nor a sweater, nor a bunny hug. I bet he'll grow up to be a hockey player with playoff hair. I bet he'll ignore my texts. I bet he'll drink himself stupid. I bet he'll marry for love, and I am not a betting woman. See what he does to me? Instead of creating, I ruminate, speculate, pontificate, and now I'm late, very late. Mama, Troll cries, up, up, up. Is that cake? Some days I simply live for the promise of cake. Troll, are you listening? We can both agree on this one. Hear the glass lid settle on the counter. Hats off. Cake is coming, clangs the clear bell. Cake is scrumptious. Troll is silent. Cake is gone, but for the smears. There, but for the... I thank thee, day, for this most amazing cake. And each farmer, sugarcane harvester, each bead of sweat in the cinnamon peeler's eye, each egg come out the vent, cloaca if you prefer, which sounds a lot like cluck, although does a hen really make that sound? Mexican roosters say kikiriki, but it's all poppycock to me. Now that's a snack my troll would dig. Bring back the 70s to me. Ooh, popcorn. All the collared girls go doot and pass me on the bridge, carrying mason jars of $10 juice to their hot yoga change rooms, seeking bliss and or thigh gaps, even though the latest word, never the last, is that a chubby upper leg can save your heart. My fist makes a most satisfying thwick against my thigh. Thick thigh, thwick, a bounce, a firmness. Who dares to walk upon my bridge? I am not my footsteps, nor my patella, femur, rib, or sternum, nor adipose tissue. Sorry, Troll, it's only me.
Thank you, Julie. One more round of applause for that, please. It made me a little hungry. And we come to the last part of the evening, which maybe is the best part of the evening, our featured reader. We are very happy and proud to have here tonight Heather Haley. Heather's writing has appeared in a variety of journals and anthologies. She was poetry editor for the LA Weekly and publisher of the Edgewise Café, one of Canada's first electronic literary magazines. She's the author of the debut novel, The Town Slut's Daughter, another great title, with a stage adaptation in the works, plus poetry collections, Sideways, 3 blocks west of Wonderland, and the book that she brought to us tonight, on sale for $20, and I'm sure she's going to read a little from that, Skookum Raven. Please welcome Heather Haley. Like this. You got it.
Testing.
Good.
Yeah, works for me. Thanks, Torsten. Thank you all for being here tonight. And I'd like to thank Torsten and Zoe and Leanne and everyone at Planet Earth Poetry. I've long admired this series, so it's really nice to be here tonight. And it's always a pleasure to share one's work with fellow poetry nerds. So, you know, we're a rare breed. And yeah, thanks to all of you for being here. And it's interesting to see us all slowly, cautiously emerging from our dread and years of pandemic. I'm going to start with Last Pain. After the girl is gone, long gone, out of character, statistical, presumed dead, the verifying department hops to, sniffs out the revelers, especially the life of the party, his liquid engine of beer. Anyone with information to confirm names and addresses, substantiate stories. They watch your gestures, read your face. Last seen wearing a blue ski jacket, white blouse, black jeans. Phoenix tattoo ascending from the right hip. Bright, unintentional dropout. Inadvertently delinquent. Boyfriend, person of interest. Always. Constable passes the flyer. Her cell phone may be dead. Last ping traced, pinpointed in fact, to here. Right here, last known location, right where we're standing, this town, your pretty little town. Fucking A. Check your property, shallow ditches, so petite, she takes up little space in the psyche. Turkey vultures lead us not to her, but a deer carcass. Parents pray to repair the squabbles, home. Local kids clam up, waiting the secret with smoke. A teenage girl can forget. She's graduated the fenced-in yards of childhood to this vast plain where condoms provide safety. Sympathy muttered. She forgot. Townies find transcendence in fury. One vaguely recalling Eminem shouts. A cat fight in the backyard. She looked kind of posh, smashed herd, fumbling, fawning, pushing, over, under, dancing, sending her sailing. This is called Ask Alexa. I will never leap off a high diving board. I'm not a strong swimmer. Still, I get into my car and drive to work every day. Some morning it occurs to this chump that I should be terrified after enduring catastrophic collisions. But once recovered, I crawl back in, just as I fall in love, though my girlish heart's been stomped myriad times. Courage or folly? Ask Alexa. Or, as the meme goes, Alexa, turn my feelings off. I must overcome the inclination to cling to the bad, my bad, for no matter how bad is familiar. I must spurn the allure of rot, resist the urge to explain. I must dig out of this black hole, hand-built grave, hell on earth. I must repudiate absolutist, soul-jarring proclamations, disable all that is wrong with me. Right, Alexa? If only someone had those answers. So this one's been, was inspired by recent events. It's called Freedom's Just a Word. Neither winter nor crumbling highways will impede truculent truckers transporting empty containers fueled by misguided millions. American aping peripheral neo-Vikings off to vanquish snowflakes, smash Ottawa walls beneath the shape-shifting banner. Freedom! Machinery as weaponry mission. Blind to delusion, roadside placarded converts eagerly buy their cheap wares. Infodemic intrudes yet again via global timeless news, warring and impotent memes. By now, I have moved past fear. I am confused though. When did the chasm's maw yawn so widely it swallowed all reason, humanity? Objects of hate, hated in clusters, according to seasons of scorn, or whichever clever derision becomes most click-worthy. But first, tea. I put on the kettle, sock-footed and well-flanneled, crawl into bed, grilled cheese sandwich in hand. Ooh, soon meeting the comforter. Chamomile lulls angst, outrage, a little. I poke my head outside to meet the weather, to breathe. Night sky a device, replete with luminous constellations, lunar phase applications, and bats free as birds. Life in the 21st century ain't grand. We're constantly adjusting to it. This is from my previous collection. It's called How to Remain. How to remain thin. Abstain from eating. Food. Calories kill the fat rats first. If she could say no and balance Belgian truffles on her tongue briefly before spitting them out, she might remain, live long, enjoy fruition. By shunning urges, she could linger, dainty as a colt's foot, deploying her charms raw, dog trotting a straddled chocolate Arabian through mazes of lane. She could retire to her body. Alas, ankles thicken, braids recede, the old mare conjured whenever she dared to look. Fight back. She may be forced to cover the gray, yellow, but refuses to swallow diet pills, amphetamines in the olden days. Still, dinner in the garbage rouses niggles of guilt. She snuffles it out before Buddy can, barfing rather than blowing calories on fusty pizza or molding olive oil soft arugula. Yeah. Okay, here's a boundless human desire poem. It's called Gracious. A kiss, coral incandescent. We wanted a kiss. We wanted a moment of no one knows us. In a hovel or the firs, we wanted a moment of no one watching. We wanted a ride, the whirling innards. We wanted a night, one night, to escape the ether, the library, all that shushing. We wanted more than one season of abundance. We have entered text, read as a target, invited a stoning, but we are very bare. Muley accomplice pawing at the door, I track charred meat from bower to sweet. From a fly coastal trip, drenched in dark highway, through a fuming winter of snarling heat, to blasted spring robins and lilacs blaring perfume. We have muzzled nothing. Growling in the gut, wicked as songs, loud as our heads, deafening aches, silent as screen voices, deep at night. Like many poets, I have a thing for birds and death. Poet preoccupations. Well, somebody has to do it. You can address these things. It's called bird watching. Binoculars resting on the sill blackly inveigle us to look. The luxury of observation, rackety silk. Cotton sheets of buds, I sleep with a mad bomber in a bed too narrow to contain explosives. Eroding acres encroach shores of receding flesh. Grip off, I watch elfin hummers amok, flap-happy mallards, swarm of blustery afternoon. I recall bionic gun runners, East Van, first day back from Gangsterland, recoiling at the forecast I'd fled, cramped in a compact car. A woman piloting the wife at last. Blindfolded against his scrutiny, foiling implicit shame, I skirted roadblocks, sculpted my spine straight, forced it to withstand gales, told. Lousy steward, I dropped the argillite raven, gleaming abalone eyes divided. I slapped my back with hot plasters so it might bend when necessary. Fit inside, repair. When will listening reveal the shape? When will seeing decode the trick? This is a place poem of sorts. It's called 3 Blocks West of Wonderland. The murders mattered mainly because they went down in my sweet pea with a bent stem friend Daisy's neighborhood. We could be sisters, sharing obscure origins in LaBelle province. I foisted, Daisy adopted, blossoming into a blonde Jewish princess, beguiling kook, fatal Brooklynese accent. 2 transplants to Los Angeles. I dipped in Silver Lake, solo act. Daisy regal atop Lookout Mountain Avenue, 3 blocks west of Wonderland. Aspiring director boy toy in tow. Don't gun clubs on their map of LA. Leary Elkhounds patrol the property. Litterbox kitties safe from coyotes, rabid coons. One morning, LAPD prodded creeping sage ground cover. Rats? No. We're searching for body parts. Clues. Wonderland, the movie based on a true story. Val Kilmer's still too hunky to play geeky John Holmes. Decidedly Joe Blow as appearances go. Might explain his appeal though. Every man identified, despite the grotesque cock, Coppola wannabe split, mattress and pillow, Bavaria down, Daisy bought a Colt 45 to dream on. Statistics. She had a plan to scare off intruders, to shoot up into the rafters where the petrified red rosebuds hung. You had to be there. Not sure it's exactly prescient, but I wrote this before the pandemic. It's called Immune. Let us skulk, spoof, touch wood. Our lark is long overdue. Though rain must intervene to doctor numbness, float the islands, drown ticks and cigarette butts. Let us linger, ponder, graph. So much garbage. Deaf German shepherd hears malice. Medicine arrives post dumpster. Mercy too late and garbled. Let us sit and watch. Chart the tormentor, his poison aim. Undiagnosed, diabolical, sick puppy. We are immune. We must imagine fear. A wolf at the door, one prick at a time. Let us stop, think. For beatings, stabbings, a storm of rattling sabers, remain the healthy status quo. This is for those who are not entirely woke yet. It's called Dawning Consciousness. She wakes, grimly febrile, desperately nostalgic, to dawdle in ditches of tadpoles, to wager glass marbles and snow lanes, sew mini skirts for her Barbie, for mashed potatoes, fried bologna, the gag reflex. She shuts her eyes, snubs the town's lens, zooming in on her culpability. Incensed at the sun's insolence, she rises despite collisions and the most recent death toll. She groans, engulfed in tokens of admirers, embattled by and dreading the delirium of desire. One lover resolutely phlegmatic, as the other effuses and plummets. Men ostensibly on, off, or sidetracked. Their interpersonals interpenetrate their fictions, demands, and tussles, so delightfully incessant. No accident this transport back to forsaken tracks, giant drain pipe. I engineer it. I of humble origin, melancholic disposition, provide stimulation, orchestrate robberies. I, in the cliche of a crisp white shirt and black hat, inflict pain, increase pressure, draw hostility, reel in crisis, commonly referred to as authentic experience. I dare to sprawl. Invite expansion, as vital to my vitals as blood on needlework. Okay, a couple more. I'm going to dedicate this to my son. It's called If I Shall Have Descendants. Shall I presume my descendants will not know my name? Shall I presume my descendants will not care? I care about my grandmother, though I never knew her. Do I know her mother's name? Such a short bloodline. Their descendants are busily alive. Some served in Afghanistan, others married after breaststroking through Olympic-sized pools of the university. Several are currently detained in China, suspended within an excruciating wait for quiet diplomacy to kick in, while others populate pandemic frontlines and hotspots, India, Brazil, and the US. My generation has borne the soldiers, priests, titans, evangelists, police, and politicians of every other generation. Perhaps my son's generation of influencers, media personalities, and content creators can save Mother Earth. Is she still referred to as Mother Earth? That's what this sweet old orb is to me. The next generation are relieved to see us dying off, for they are more than mere descendants. They are redeemers. Apparently the birth rate is slowing in parts of the world. Perhaps our descendants are our mothers, know best. I'm going to finish with another place poem, quintessential home province poem. Hookah squats on carpet, Buddha-esque, undulating spirals of sapphire smoke hula up her nose. That buzz that slows your blood, calls you back to bed like a lover, soothes your inner asshole. BC bud, best bud in the world, worth risking jail for. High resolution satellite images, narcs warrant executed Tuesday, grow op rated Wednesday. Dozens of firearms, 5,000 plants. Big bust for a small town. For export, for sure. Cultivation facilities dismantled. Straight people relieved. Green Party over. But Zoe cried, it was the best job ever. Dope dealers pay well. Her boyfriend sold product at school. Their responsibilities included digging a tunnel under the border, blaming black fingernails and muddy jeans on dirt biking at the gravel pit. Parents were shocked. We thought she was on Messenger, chatting. We thought he was on the internet with her. Boy's father chiding, it's Appleton, son, not marijuana-ton.